I'm gonna go ahead and paint the inside of the truss. Now I'm gonna wait for that to dry, then I'm gonna start putting it on. Alright, so I'm putting the truss on right now. And that piece right there at the very top comes in 3 pieces. And I found my pinion angle, and the way I found my pinion angle was I put an angle finder on my drive shaft, and it said it was at 18 degrees, and then they say to subtract 2 degrees so whenever you give it fuel, the pinion right there will shift back up and it'll fall right to where you need it to be. So I'm at 16 degrees, and I just measured off of this angle on the pinion yoke. That's where I got 16 degrees at. And then whenever I'm reading the instructions for the kit, it says that this truss needs to be perfectly level for a 3-link. And it doesn't say anything about a 4-link, and that's what I'm going to be running. And there's no way I can get this level because it'll hit the back of the axle housing the farther I keep pushing it forward. So we're going to see what happens, but what I ended up doing was taking piece 1, this whole top piece, set it on the ground. I tacked this piece and the other side piece into it, and I set it on top of it. I had to trim it. I trimmed it right here, and on the other over here on the same spot, and then on the other sides on the back the same spot, so it fit in there. But right now we're going to go ahead and tack it up onto the axle. So I put tacks on the insides of these. It says not to put tacks or any welds right here, because that's where our coil bucket's gonna mount. And I guess I'll just show you, but I'm gonna go ahead and tack it right here on the cast, even though it's not preheat or anything, just so this doesn't move. Alright, so I'm gonna show you where I've tacked it at. But I put a tack right here, and then I put one on the other side in the same spot, then on all 4 corners. Put some tacks right down there to hold it so it doesn't move. I even put one on the cast. He says you can't weld on the cast without preheat. But put another one right there just to hold it, just in case we have to make some adjustments. We can always cut them. I even tacked right here. That's what I was talking about I did on the ground. I tacked these all in here, clamped it up with a Bessie clamp, and then I tacked it. And on this back side, did the same thing, tacked it on the cast right there. And we tacked it right there on the axle tubing. And then right there I customized this because I didn't want to drill a relocation hole. So I cut into this truss right here and took a torch and cut it out, then grinded it out and painted it. And I already painted the inside of the truss, but I wanted to have the breather hose still right there. So that's why I did that. And next step, I think we're going to be putting on the coil buckets. Alright, so this is the coil bucket. And it says to place this is the bump stop bracket. It says to place this on here, we'll make this level, and then there's like this little tab right here and it goes perfectly into there. And it says it should offset this like 4 to 6 degrees. So we're going to get this level right here. So that's pretty level. I have it. You can see that the coil bucket is just tilted back to this side, so it's sitting like that. Now it's level. I'm going to go ahead and tack it. So we got this spring thing pushed all the way up against this. The coil bucket mount. It's all the way pushed up against it. Yep, it's at 6 degrees, so that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and tack that coil bucket mount. And it says that's for stock locations. If yours has got some tall lift on it or something, you might have to change it. Yeah, I wouldn't tack it right there. I have to grind that down now. I'll bring this over and do the other side now. Alright, so the other thing is, forgot to say, but you should paint the back sides of these just so they don't rust. And I forgot to paint them on the other side. I'm just going to spray rattle can up in there and hope for the best, but I would recommend painting it. And all these brackets, it tells you, it says like number 4, and right here it says 17, and then on the instructions it tells you just by verbal, by reading it, where they go. And now we're going to go ahead and tack it down, but I got them both clamped. Looks pretty level. I checked this. This is at 6 degrees, so it matches the other one. Go ahead and tack it. So we put some tacks right here, and we put them on the insides of those, and put tacks right there. Put some on the inside, right up in there, and on the inside of that one we put one, and you can put one down at the bottom too if you want. Alright, so then there's these things look like big washers, and there's 2 of them. They're part number 5 and or no, just number 6. But it says to weld around here to this nut there, to the retainer or whatever you want to call that thing, but it's like a washer. So I tightened them all the way down, and I'm just going to weld around in a couple spots. And like I said, I would tighten that nut all the way down on there so it goes into the hole just fine whenever you put the bolt in. Alright, the next thing you want to do is grab this. It's inside the kit, but it goes at the very back if you're going to use your stock location instead of stretching it. That's what I'm gonna do because I'm not a cool kid, you know. So there's just a little circle right here, and it tells you pretty much where to put it. If it's stretched, you put it right here. If it's stock, you put it to the very back, it says. See that little etch that I'm talking about? So you can go very far back or the front. Pretty much the same as the other side, so I'm gonna match them. But yeah, just kind of center that right there.
Go ahead and weld this right here. And
I suggest welding all the way around that, just so no water gets in there where the weld is. That's just a coil spring retainer. There's a bigger washer plate that goes on it that holds your coil down from coming out. So if you're running coilovers, you won't even be doing this. We're gonna do the other one. Yep, that's it for that. And then I'm gonna take a grinder and we're gonna clean up the top of this, just the very top, so that plate will sit flat down on it. It doesn't scratch our coil spring whenever we put it on. Alright, now we're gonna weld on this upper control arm mount, and I'm gonna show you how it goes on there. There's a little tab notch right there. There's that tab right there, and it literally just sets on there and push it up against it. And then you can either measure this, or it says you can put a bolt in there, and it's 2 3/8 is the distance for your upper control arm, so it doesn't close up on you and you have problems fitting it up. But I measured it, and it's at 2 9/16, so I got 1/16 of play. So I'm just going to tack it up for right now, and then later I'll go ahead and put those bolts in it, so whenever I weld it out. And then we can just measure it, just look at it. This one's right at 2 9/16. So we got 1/16 of play. But what they're saying is put a bolt through here and have a nut right here and a nut right here, and then you can spread it or tighten it to put it at wherever you need it to be for your control arm to fit in. Alright, now we're gonna go do the other side. This is the same way, and already painted the spot that is touching the axle tube. So we got about 4 or 5 tacks on there, 6, something like that. So this is the rear track bar mount, and that tab right there, I'm gonna line up like that and have it all the way up against it. And I'm gonna get it level like this. And I got the inside of that thing painted. I'm just going to make sure that fits instead of leveling it on the bottom, so it should tack it where it's at. There's a little notch for this piece to go in here. Alright, so this one goes on a tab, lines up with the outer side of the bump stop bracket, and I'm pretty sure you just push it all the way up as far as it will go. I'm going to take this one, number 16, and I believe it is a shock mount, a lower shock mount. one goes on the same way. A little tab down there, just line it up with it. This is the last piece. I think this is the rear sway bar mount. What do you call this? Sway bar bracket. Thank you. Alright, so we got all the brackets welded on. Everything that came in the kit. Everything that was on their instruction book. And everything's just tacked on right now. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bolt it up. Make sure it fits on the Jeep before I weld anything out. We got our pinion angle set. And overall, I think it was pretty easy. There's not really much in the instructions except for just push stuff up to a tab like that, or push it up to a tab like that right there. And the only modifications I did to this was I wanted to keep that breather hose. Yeah, so I wanted to keep that breather hose right there, so I just cut it out with a torch and then grinded it so it'd fit and I could get a socket around it. And hopefully that doesn't interfere with the track bar right here, but I'm pretty sure we can make it work. And I grinded a couple like right here on both sides, like right there. Where's it at? Right here. I didn't grind right there, but on the other sides I grinded both of them like that. And the only problem I couldn't get was this thing. In the instructions it says to make this level, and it says pretty much to be sure it's level if it's 3-link, and it just doesn't really act like it matters if it's a 4-link, which I'm running a 4-link. So I just made it as far as I could get it, and then the reason why you can't make it level is because the brackets on the casting, it hits. So it doesn't matter how much you grind. The only way you're getting this thing level is if your pinion angle is a lot lower than mine. Mine's probably a lot higher just because it's the short arm. I'm not running the long arm on the control arms. So that was probably why I couldn't get it level. But yeah, probably next weekend I'm gonna bolt it up, see how it fits. And that's just about it.